What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gamers County. I am your host, Xavier NOV94, bringing you with the updated version of Destiny. Now, as we know, Destiny was released this year and has now been one of the highest selling games of 2014, and is set to be in competition with the next Call of Duty franchise game, Advanced Warfare, along with other shooter games such as Watch Dogs and many other shooter related video games of this year. Now, as many have noticed that they have said that there will be expansion packs for Destiny scheduled for December of this year and January of next year. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. They say the expansion pack is a new variety of exclusive missions, exclusive weaponry, exclusive creatures that'll definitely get you out of a tight situation. Let's look at it like this. Destiny in its own has proven to be capable of holding its own in its own competition. You know, although most people don't think so, Destiny definitely held its own against, critics and various fans who thought that the game would not make much of a sale due to the fact they consider it a spin-off of the Halo series. Which is, it's always good to have spin-offs of certain franchises. They maybe they'll do something like that in the future. They saying that they want to take Destiny into a 3 to 4 sequel game, make it into a bigger franchise than what Halo was back in the day. But let's look at the game. Let's look at the game itself. The game is based upon similar graphics towards Halo. The action is based on, like, is similar to the fact of the Halo series, but it's all different due to the fact that there are, specific zones, specific arenas. There are even various types of characters to the point of where it seems like there's almost it's unprecedented that such a game would even exist up to this point, and nobody really thought that, okay, maybe they're going in a different direction. Maybe they're going to stop doing Halo games and they're just going to focus on Destiny for a while. But we all know that wasn't true. As they later stated at E3 this year, they said that Halo 5 is in development now and is expected for a mid 2015 release. You know. But now on to the speculation of a Destiny live action movie. As some people may have heard or may not have heard, there is word about a live action movie which is said to feature a somewhat all-star cast in a Destiny film adaptation. So I thought about this for a minute. I was thinking, is it possible for Destiny to even be made into a film? And I thought to myself, I was like, this is really not something that Bungie could afford, but at the same time, with the prices and the sales that they made of Destiny, it's not possible, but it is possible. Like, for example, we've seen CGI Halo films. We've seen the higher graphic quality of the next gen consoles. So it's only a matter of time that such a thing would exist. But at the same time, it'd be something they put off to a later date. I feel like the whole Destiny franchise is something that's just waiting to be explored a little further than what it really was. You know, I don't feel like I feel like Destiny in its own is something that can go a little higher, because as we've seen, the Destiny itself is various within weapons. It's in its own category, 3 different categories of where your character can be customized between a sniper, a titan, and a warlock. Those type of things will make a person want to be in competition with one another because they see that kind of thing. So let's look at it like this. Should a Destiny live action movie be, put in development, let's say, I'm willing to bet a 2017 release, due to the fact that the game itself is basically brand new. It's not even 3 months old yet. It's only a month old. So I want to say that if a Destiny movie is to be released, I'd say they probably would do a script sometime between 2015 and 16. Then they'll probably drop it out in like 16 or 17. I don't really know. But at the same time, I'm always open to something that Bungie is really to put out, because we've seen how they do their work. They do a great job. They do good work. They do good character designs and stuff like that. So it's really not a shame. It's not really such a bad idea to ask for a Destiny movie. I'm saying that this whole type of situation where we're in a graphic recession, because most people who play games now really didn't play games back then. So that's basically saying to yourself, you're basically putting a guy who didn't play video games, and you're putting a guy who's been playing video games since he was a kid in the same room together, who will sit there and watch a Destiny movie, and one of them would leave the theater. That's the type of situation I feel like the Destiny movie would bring out. But all in all, I think that it's a possibility, but I don't think it's really a good idea at this time, really. But hey, who knows? People come out with crazy things nowadays. But anyway, next we're gonna talk about sequels towards the Destiny franchise. Now, as I said earlier, the Destiny game has rumored to have a 4-game deal with Activision. So, should things go well with the first Destiny game, which it already has, we've already seen that, it's possible that there will be a Destinies 2 through 4. As we've seen, IGN recently announced a few months ago that the Destiny levels can carry over towards the sequel, which means that, well, guess what? You get to do all that extra stuff and be cool, with your Destiny character, have all the new weapons and stuff like that. But let's look at the bigger problem here. As we know that the game does updates for itself, it did updates before, during its release, and after its release, where it would let you go up to level 20 at one point, then it skyrocketed to level 30. So if I'm really willing to put my money on this one, you know, like World of Warcraft, like they allow their characters to go to level 90. I'm kind of expecting something like that to happen with the sequels, because there's always going to be a certain expectation for the character to be, if they're fighting a direct monster. You know, prime example, for when the beta came out, the highest level you could go to was level 8, right? So when you go to the Devil's Lair, you find characters that are between levels 8 through 10. And even with added help and stuff like that, it really made it difficult even with that amount of time. It really didn't matter what type of weapons you had, what type of skills you had. That kind of thing really didn't, really didn't phase any of the monsters in the game itself. But what it really did was just showcase a new step in the right direction for Bungie and Activision. But that's what my thought is on sequels. I feel like a sequel between Destiny will probably come out in the next 2 years or so. And they'll probably do the same thing they did with this Destiny. They'll push it back a year, and then it'll be 2016, 2017 release date. But because games like that exist, it makes it even easier for people to expect a new release. But that's what I just have to say about it. And finally, now we're going to talk about the game examination on its own. All in all, I believe that Destiny is a promising franchise, and it's a good spin-off towards the Halo season, because I felt like the Halo season was being dragged along a few times. I felt like that Bungie was not putting their best foot forward with certain Destiny games, But seeing Halo 5 made me think, okay, they finally realizing that they owe this to their fans, and this kind of behavior between their fans and the developers of the game have proven to be something that everybody wants to see, but it's really not about that. It's really about the patience of the fan base. But really, my thing is that I think that Destiny is really gorgeous. I think that the graphics itself have proven to be something of a new level. I really think that Destiny reached the graphic quality of PS4, even though it really was just playing for PS3 and Xbox 360 last year. So even, like, for example, if Destiny had actually just came out on PS3 and 360, they probably would have did a re-release and put it on PS4 and Xbox One exclusively. I mean, that's a good state of mind to go with, but at the same time, it's really not a good place to think, because we all know that certain games on PS4 are exclusive to PS4 because they specifically run on 60 frames per second, which makes a game difficult to run alongside a game that that's been on sale for the last 5-6 years. So with that in mind, it means that the graphic quality of the game would only follow so far in, to the point of where sometimes things may be lagging, sometimes online play might be lagging, the basics of a still animation wise. But anyway, guys, that's the commentary of Destiny. That's the updated version. I'm glad you guys took the time to watch my video. Subscribe, and I'll see you